All right, guys, here we go. So today we're going to be looking at fractions. All right, so everybody do your fraction freak out now. Get it over with. It's really not that hard. And we're going to start simple and work our way to a little bit more difficult. So do what you can. Make sure you're taking notes in your notebook. This should be the fourth video that you're recording or taking notes on. So it should be number 7 in your table of contents. This should be adding fractions. So number 7 on your table of contents should be adding fractions. Okay? Go ahead and pause if you need to write that down in your table of contents, and we'll get back to it as soon as you are done writing that. Okay, so we're going to start with very simple fractions. If you notice, what's really important when we're adding fractions is that our common denominators, our denominators, are the same. So this top number here, whoa, what happened there? Let's undo that. Okay, so this top number here is called the numerator. Okay, so we're going to write numerator. And this bottom number here is called the denominator. Oops. Okay, so go ahead and pause your video right now, and I want you to copy these 4 problems down. So you're going to push the pause button and copy these 4 problems down. When you're ready to start again, go ahead and press play. Okay, so now that you have these copied down, I want to make sure that we understand. Top numbers are the numerators, bottom numbers are denominators. And anytime we're adding or subtracting, but today we're just going to be adding fractions, we need to make sure that our bottom number or our denominators are the same. So on all of these problems, we notice this is 7 and this is also 7, so we can add them. 10 and 10, we can add them. 3 and 3, we can add them. 8 and 8, and we can add them. Very simple. So all we have to do is draw a fraction bar and bring our denominator across on for our answer. Okay, does everybody have them copied? Good. So in order to get our final answer, all we have to do are add these 2 top numbers. So 3 plus 5 is what? 8. We're going to write our answer. 9 plus 8 is what? 17. We're going to write our answer. Go ahead and do the next 2. Pause your video and do the next 2, and then come back and check your work. Perfect. I hope you're back. So check your work. 1 plus 1 is 2. That's very simple. 5 plus 4 is 9, and that is simple. And right now, I really just want you to leave your answers in improper form. Okay, so improper means when your top or your numerator is bigger than your denominator. This is an improper fraction, and we're going to leave it like that. 17 is bigger than 10, so your numerator is bigger than your denominator, and we want to leave it like that. We're not going to turn it into a mixed number. This one is not an improper fraction, and this is also the way we would like to see it. It just really depends on your answer. This is an improper fraction, and we're going to go ahead and leave it that way. So you're going to have a bunch of problems like this on your homework tomorrow, so hopefully you'll have your notes, and as long as that bottom number is the same, these are the easiest fractions to add or subtract. Right now, we're going to focus on the adding. Okay, go ahead and copy down these 4 problems, and we will get to them shortly. All right, as you notice, these bottom numbers are different. So this makes our challenge a little bit more interesting. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and extend out these answers so that we find a common denominator. Okay, so I want you to write down common denominator. So we want to have the same number down here. So in order to do that, we're going to multiply it out. So I'm going to start with my big number, okay? So I'm going to say 4, 8, 12, 16, right? I'm only going to do 4 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply out or write out you could also use your multiplication chart for this. So I'm going to look at my 2's. So counting by 2's, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So I'm going to look and see which is my smallest one that's in common. If I look, they both have a 4. So I don't need to change this one, do I? I can just write it, keep it the same. But this one I do need to change. So what am I going to multiply 2 by to make it 4? I have to multiply by 2. But I have to keep this balanced, okay, because I'm really multiplying by 2 over 2, which is 1, right? So I want to keep it the same. 5 times 2 becomes what? And my bottom number, remember I want it to be 4 because I'm looking for that common denominator, is going to be 4. And then I'm just going to bring my second fraction over. And now look, do I have the same denominator? And that's exactly what I want, right? So now I can just add my top number straight across. And let's go ahead and put my 4 as my denominator in here. So what is 10 plus 7? 17. This is an improper fraction, but we're going to leave our answers in improper form. Okay? So let's look at this next one, 3 and 15. Let's go ahead and count by 3's. I have 3, 6, 9, 12. I might need to go a little bit higher here, okay? So let's count by 5's now. 5, 10, 15. Looks like I found a pair, right? 15. So I'm going to have to multiply both of these fractions by a number so that I can come up with my common denominator. So I need to multiply 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I multiply 3 by 5, I also have to multiply 4 by 5. So let's go ahead and do that and bring it over here. So 4 times 5 is 20. And we already decided that 3 times 5 was 15, right? So I'm going to bring that down. And I know that my denominator is going to be 15, so I can just fill that in my little box here. So I need to multiply 5 by what to make it 15? 5, 10, 15. I need to multiply it by 3. Okay, so I'm going to multiply 5 times 3, and that I already know this is going to give me a denominator 15. That's my goal, to have that same denominator. But 6 times 3 is what? Use your multiplication chart and figure it out. And then write your answer up here. We know that it's going to be 24. I'm sorry, 18. Silly me. Thinking 6 times 4. 18. So now I can add my two top numbers, so 20 plus 18. I can do it in my head. If you need to do it on the side, you can. I'm going to add these two together. 0 plus 8 is 8. 2 plus 1 is 3. So that gives me 38 over 15. Now remember, I want us to leave it in an improper fraction or improper form. So go ahead and push pause right now and see if you can figure out the common denominator for these next two problems. When you come back, check your work and see if you did it exactly like I did. So go ahead and push pause. Okay, I hope you're back. There's your work. You can check it. Make sure you did what I did, extended it out, find your lowest common denominator, multiplied it, added, and left your answer in improper fraction form. Okay, last one we're going to do is a little bit trickier because it's exactly like what we're doing here, sort of. You have to, what we have now are mixed numbers, and we want to turn them into improper fractions before we can add them up. These are awesome because every fraction has a common denominator, so we don't have to change them, but we do want to make them an improper fraction. So what we do is we're going to say 8 times 12 plus 4 for all of them. 5 times 12 plus 7. 1 times 8 plus 1. This is 9 times 8 plus 4. 6 times 3 plus 1. 4 times 3 plus 1. 5 times 5 plus 2. 2 times 5 plus 1. Can you recognize the pattern? So we're multiplying our denominator and then adding our numerator, but our denominator, we're going to end up with a problem that is an improper fraction, but our answer will always have the same denominator. Okay, so let's practice. 8 times 12 is what? 96. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Plus 4 gives me 100 over 12. 5 times 12 is 60. Plus 7 gives me 67 over 12. And then we're going to add these two numbers up. And this is pretty easy. 100 plus 67 is 167. Let's do the next one. 1 times 8 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. And my denominator stays the same. So I know that my denominator over here is also going to be 8. So 9 times 8 is 72. Plus 4 is 76. So 9 plus 76, well, I can't do that in my head, so I'm going to go ahead and come over here and do this so that I can add them up carefully. 9 plus 6 is 15, carry my 1. 8 plus 1, or 7 plus 1 is 8. So that gives me an answer of 85 over 8. Go ahead and push pause. Do the next two on your own. And then once you're finished, hit play and check your answers. All right, check your answers. Make sure they're correct. Try and see where you made your mistake. Make sure you're using your multiplication chart to do these. It's great practice for you guys to actually try and memorize your multiplication tables because you'll be multiplying forever in math. So try and memorize them. Use your multiplication chart if you need to. Later on, I'm going to let you guys use a calculator. Hopefully you took some really good notes, and I will see you in class tomorrow.